Hello everyone and welcome back to the Fit Curls. As you can see, I am freshly washed and today I'm going to show you my current favorite curly hair styling routine featuring Cake Beauty. I have loved these products since the very start of my curly journey and I'm excited to share my techniques and results with you. The two styling products I'm using today are the Curl Friend, which is Cake's defining curl cream, and their whipped curl mousse, the Curl Whip, which I absolutely adore. You've definitely seen it on the channel before. So without further ado, let's do this thing. I always begin by sectioning off my hair, and I start with a big bottom section that I will then separate into two, clipping the rest away to keep it nice and damp. I should also mention that right out of the shower, off camera of course, this is a family-friendly channel after all, I used Cake's The Mane Manager to prep my hair for styling. This product is a 3-in-1 leave-in conditioner, detangler, and it can also be used for refreshes. As you can see from how well my Tangle Teaser brush is gliding through my hair for one final detangle, the Mane Manager definitely does its job. Next up, the Curl Friend. I style with a generous amount of cream for my high porosity hair. Here I'm starting with a firm 1-second squeeze and I'll go from there. I emulsify it between my hands, smooth it over those two halves of my bottom section, and then rake it through to fully saturate my strands. The light but moisturizing texture of this cream plus the addition of protein makes the Curl Friend a perfect product for people with fine textured, high porosity curls like mine. It saturates and provides great slip without weighing my hair down, and it's not remotely greasy. Now, to test the product saturation, I picked this trick up from my Curl Profit Mains by Mel. If you twist a section together and you can see a bit of product peeking out, you've used enough. I definitely saw, and you might be able to see here, a tiny peek of that product from in between the parts of that twist, but knowing my hair and the products, I wanted just a little bit more, and I was way more satisfied with the slip, as is pretty obvious from my face. To further define my curls, I'm using my Denman D3 brush. This 7-row styling brush aids in distributing product, creating clumps, and defining gorgeous ringlets. I use this brush basically every time I style. Okay, actually every time I style, literally since the day I bought it. I love this thing. Now that I've distributed all the product evenly, I'm dividing my hair into 1/2-inch vertical sections to style it. I'll run the brush all the way through each section of my hair a couple of times just to make sure there are no remaining tangles. Then I put the brush in at the root, give it a quarter turn, and run it all the way down the length of my hair 90 degrees away from the scalp before letting the section fall. Pulling it off the scalp like this helps to encourage root volume, which Lord knows my hair needs. And that quarter twist helps encourage a spiral curl pattern to form. I can't recommend this brush enough to people like me who have historically struggled with getting definition in their curls. It's really changed my hair game and it takes way less time than trying to do a full head of finger coils. Now, I like to keep a little bit of product on my hands for this next bit. The shake is not just for fun. I'm actually using it to activate the curls. I then take my nice producty hands and start cupping to further encourage the curls to spring up. I can also take this opportunity to finger coil any unruly pieces that still need a little bit of training. So I'll pick up that flat-ish piece at the root, smooth it out, twist it nice and tightly around itself while gently and slowly pulling it away from my scalp, and then let it fall. I've only been transitioning to wearing my hair naturally full-time for about 7 months. So in certain sections of my hair, this really helps to encourage my hair to curl in a more consistent pattern. One more tiny little scrunch here, and it's on to the next section. Regardless of what products or techniques I use, my ultimate styling MVP is water. So I re-wet and detangle every section as needed before I apply any product. Hydration is super important for curls, and while moisture can come from products, hydration only comes from water. I highly recommend using a continuous mister. I'll link my favorite one below. Now, I've mentioned this in passing before, but an absolute must for me on any wash day is plenty of protein. My hair loves it, and anytime I've styled with moisture only, my hair looked great on day 1, but fell completely limp by day 2.5. Because I have medium to high porosity hair, protein is a necessity, and these cake products have it in spades. The inclusion of ingredients like biotin and hydrolyzed silk protein in both the leave-in and the curl cream help give my hair enough body and structure, which makes my finished curls ridiculously bouncy. Now, fair warning, these products are not Curly Girl Method approved. They do include silicones like dimethicone, so if you're a strict CGM follower, these are not really for you. That being said, these products come off my hands easily with just water and don't create any heavy buildup on my hair. I find that clarifying every 3 to 5 washes, which every fine-haired curly should be doing anyway, FYI, keeps my curls buildup free. If you're looking for a good clarifying shampoo, Eva NYC just came out with their Deep Tox Salt Shampoo, which is a scalp exfoliant as well as a clarifying shampoo, and that stuff is bomb. I will link that in the description box below as well. It almost feels like giving your scalp a facial, which, if we think about it, scalp is skin, so we should take care of it the same way, right? As I'm still styling here, I wanted to give you a quick tip for using the Denman brush. The brush should glide easily through your hair for best results. I find that using extremely damp hair while I'm doing this, enough that you can hear a little bit of a squish, makes a big difference for me. If you know you've used enough product and enough water, but the brush still feels like it's encountering resistance, just reduce the size of your section. You can see me doing exactly that here. I was pulling through the top section and it just didn't feel like it was gliding. So I reduced the size and moved on. Clean parts in your hair will also make for way better curls, since the curls will clump together more naturally without reducing your volume. Small adjustments like this can make a huge difference in your results. Of course, I am still styling by pulling the brush 90 degrees away from my scalp, which here means straight up towards the ceiling. This is to maximize volume at the top and crown of my hair, so that way, even on day 3 or 4, I don't look flat. I also like to style my last section right in front of my face so I can have full control and finger coil as needed to give me as much definition as possible on those money pieces, the first pieces that people, including myself, see on a daily basis. So as you can see here, I'm throwing in some finger coils just to make sure that I don't have any flat pieces toward the top or sides. I will now take my Conair t-shirt towel off my shoulders, thanks CVS, and very, very lightly microplop, just to absorb whatever excess water I can so my curls will begin springing up. This will also give me a better cast during the next step, which is an important detail not to overlook if you want your curls to last. In case we haven't met before, I am a big old dork. Hi! My curls are now pretty darn defined, so now I need hold. Enter the curl whip. I shake it, shake it like a Polaroid. Never mind, that's probably copyright infringement. And I'm going to dispense a big old softball-sized dollop of mousse into my palm. I love watching this stuff inflate, and it smells really good too. Next, I glaze it over my curls in a very light, almost praying hands motion all over the surface area that I can find of my curls to make sure that any areas that need extra love get fully covered, like the crown and the sides of my head where I've had heat damage. Mostly because those are the areas that tend to fall flat, so they need a little bit of that stronger hold to keep them up. And then we begin scrunching. I scrunch, and I scrunch, and I scrunch, and I scrunch some more. I scrunch until all of my curls are covered in mousse. And then I scrunch even more until all of the white residue disappears into my hair, or until hell freezes over, whichever comes first. So far, it's always been the residue disappearing, but honestly, you never know. Mousse is a fantastic product for fine-haired curlies because it has a thickening effect on our strands, so it can make us look like we have more hair than we actually do. I use this to my full advantage pretty much every time I style, which I think is why this product is my absolute favorite. The t-shirt towel is back for another round of micro plopping. I use the towel, which is super soft and absorbent, to very gently but firmly squeeze out any excess water I can without disturbing the curl pattern I've worked so hard to define. I find that I prefer this technique to a full plop as I have more control. But if you're not a fan of either choice or just prefer not to use a towel of any kind on your hair, I would suggest squeezing the excess water out over the sink by just scrunching and squeezing your hair out. This will reduce your drying time and any likelihood of heat damage if you choose to diffuse with heat. So far, so good. Great wet results lead to great dry results. Speaking of dry results, I'm using my Babyliss Pro Ceramics Extreme Hair Dryer with the Ion Collapsible Universal Diffuser attachment in pink. Duh. I'm going to start on high heat. Yeah, you heard me. High heat. If at any point during the diffusing process I need to touch my hair or head with the diffuser, I'll switch to medium heat. But cool? No way. I'd be holding that diffuser until the sun explodes. Along with high heat, I will also be using high speed for obvious let's get this over with reasons. I always start upside down and hover, not touching, in small circular motions over the roots first, because the roots take the longest to dry. Drying upside down like this will also encourage the roots to stand further away from the scalp when flipped right side up, which is going to create plenty of volume, which I'm sure you guys know by now is the name of the game when drying my hair for me. As you can see here, I have flipped my head to one side and I'm still attacking the roots from there. I'll continue flipping gently from one side to the other to continue encouraging volume as I wait. Once the roots are dry, I know it's safe to lightly touch the roots with the diffuser and give them a little fluff for extra volume. I will then move the hovering to focus more on the mid-lengths and the ends of my hair, which now need more of my attention so that they'll dry sometime this century. Now is also a great time to catch up on a little reading. After about 15 to 20 minutes, my hair is feeling a bit warmer and a hard cast is starting to form, which is a good sign that I'll have lasting hold. And it's also my signal to switch to pixie diffusing. With the air off, I cup a small section of my hair in the diffuser and bring it towards my scalp. Then on medium heat, I'll switch the air on for a few to several seconds, switch the air back off again, and then move the diffuser to repeat the process. If you're prone to shrinkage and you're not really a fan, I would skip this step and just continue hovering over your hair until it's completely dry. I, on the other hand, have no such issue with shrinkage. In fact, I have a hard time getting it to happen at all, so I like to use the pixie technique to encourage a lot more volume and bounce in my hair. At this stage, I'm also no longer styling upside down at all. Why is that? Because, well, however your hair dries is how it's going to stay. And the cousin it look of the hair over the face is so 1963. Instead, I toss my hair from side to side so as to dry it without a part, but still out of my face and chock full of volume, without looking like I've been drowned, electrocuted, or both at the same time. The common thread with both of these techniques is that I am not touching my curls with my hands while they are drying. All that does is mess up your curl pattern and create some serious frizz. So no matter how tempting, keep your paws off your curls until they are dry. My hair is now about 95% dry and is looking crispy. But it won't stay that way for long. Using Cake's The Locksmith, which is a dry conditioner spray, I'm going to scrunch out the crunch. I use several short spritzes of this dry oil spray over my mids and ends to lightly cover my hair, and then all that's left to do is scrunch and watch the curls soften and expand. The difference in texture is almost instant. Now, if you're looking for a more intense hold to last you several days, I encourage you to leave a bit of this cast intact. It will soften up over the coming days as you continue to rock your curls, but definitely don't skip this step altogether, lest you risk rocking the ramen noodle curls of the early 2000s that still haunt my dreams to this day. Even with the crunch scrunched out, your waves and curls will still hold up for a few days. One last diffuse. On medium heat and high speed, we're going back to hover diffusing. I just start hovering again near the roots, but this time I'm gonna place my fingers in towards my scalp from underneath and give the roots a shake to encourage even more volume up top, on the sides, and at the crown where I so desperately need it. After a good all-over hover, I'm going to start pixie diffusing again, using the diffuser to cup my ends in their natural curl pattern to continue to encourage that shape and bounce to the curl. The combination of these two particular diffusing techniques has become my holy grail. I have never had a bad wash day since I started using a combination of these Cake Beauty products and these two diffusing techniques. I highly encourage you guys to give this whole routine a try, whether it's with the cake products or whatever products that you have on hand at home. Application techniques and diffusing techniques can make all the difference in the way that your hair turns out in your final results. And I would love to hear from you guys about any parts of the routine that you try and how they work for you. So come back and drop a comment below. Let me know how these things work out for you. One last vigorous scalp massage to shake out my roots for volume, obviously. And voila, my favorite results ever. Soft, humongous, bouncy waves and spirals that literally smell like dessert and convince my clients that I've styled my hair with a curling iron. I cannot recommend these products enough, you guys. I've linked Cake Beauty's website below where you can find the 4 products that I use today and many more. And that's it for today. If you enjoyed today's video, please give it a thumbs up and let me know what you think in the comments. Before you leave, don't forget to click that subscribe button and the little bell for post notifications so that you don't miss a thing. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next Friday on the Fit Curls. Bye!